O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Kane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Murias Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Murias Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at murias.dental. Murias Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodiasdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Be Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rheaume. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rheaume can help. South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. All kinds of stuff to talk about on a beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful Monday because we are here. We are blessed to be here, having some fun and enjoying life and enjoying a good morning with Bitcoin as it pumps over 87,000. So we love that. I know we don't love that the market is down 654 points now. Wow, it was like 400. Now it's 654. Holy crap, dude. Damn. Man. Anyway, it just got worse before it was like at 400, like 370, 400. It was flirting around, which is bad, but it went up to 662. Wow. Jesus. Hang in there if you are in the stock market. So we got the Heat losing to the Cavs last night. We got Ira joining us at the bottom of the hour. We will talk about the Heat and their missing ingredients, because they are missing some ingredients. One is very obvious. We'll talk about the other one. So we got that going on. We've got the Dolphins getting ready for the draft finally on Thursday. Get this weekend over with and move on. So we'll see what happens with the draft and who they end up picking up and what holes they try to fill. Because it's going to be really, really difficult to do what they have to do overall. But it is what it is, and we'll talk about that too today on the program. Obviously, thoughts and prayers. Pope Francis passes away day after Easter, passes away at the age of 88. And so obviously a sad day there too. So I know that that's also made news this morning. What else do we have? Mario Bergoglio, which is the Pope's real name. Pope Francis passes away at the age of 88. We've got a bunch of other stuff to talk about. I've got on the show sheet here that we will share with you all throughout the morning. Sean Stanley, of course, the great Sean Stanley, the great Sean Stanley, is, of course, mastering the platform like he always does. We got all of that going on. Michael Saylor, he bought 6,556 Bitcoin for $555.8 million. Okay. And this is off market. So this doesn't move it like it normally, like the stuff that moved overnight, or not overnight, but in the last 24 hours, where Bitcoin popped $2,000, that money is different than this Michael Saylor money. Okay. This is over the counter. This is different. This is one person exchanging with the other. And Michael Saylor, where it's miners or whatever. So it doesn't come from the exchanges. Okay. So when you saw a jack, that's all that money that's coming off exchanges. When we hit supply shock, it's going to be nasty. But, what can I tell you? I can only preach. I am not a financial advisor by any stretch. You need advice, you got to go seek it. But look where the market's going. Look where Bitcoin is going. Look how Bitcoin has survived everything in 16 years. It went from 8 digits behind a penny to now pushing again 90,000. It'll go way past 100 to 200 and what all that. But look how it survives wars, pandemics, Obama, Biden, Trump now for a second time. And all it does is grow. Doesn't matter the president. Doesn't matter the Fed. Doesn't matter what printer's going on. You got Trump now crying about the Fed wanting to lower rates and start printing and all that. So I'm just telling you. You got Charles Schwab now announcing over the weekend that they will get into Bitcoin and crypto, and that they will start getting it done within the next 12 months. So I'm just telling you. So Michael Saylor buys $555.8 million of Bitcoin at 84,785. So he's already in a profit. He now owns 538,200 Bitcoin for $36.47 billion. His average right now per Bitcoin is at 67,766 per coin. Crazy shit, dude. Crazy shit. But hey, It's what the rich people do. Us poor folk just follow the same. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. Anyway, NorCal is in. I see he's number one. Says draft week. Let's go, Greer. I feel bad for Chris Greer. Okay, and I know I lost 90% of you because you hate Chris Greer and all that. But in the end, he's screwed because either he or somebody else hired the wrong coach, Mike McDaniel. I'm still dying to find out if Chris Greer survives this offseason. He didn't hire Mike McDaniel. I'm just telling you this. That's the only way I can see it, because as I've said 1,000 times, it's hard to imagine that anybody's going to get to hire their third coach if they weren't a winning GM. Like Howie Roseman can hire a couple coaches because he's already won a couple. He already won one, and he had fired and changed coaches and everything. But he could fire the next three coaches, and nobody's going to question Howie. Oh, no, he doesn't think this is the right coach. Let him find the right coach. He's earned it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different, but it's a dynamic. I mean, listen. Here's the thing. Like, look at NorCal draft week. Let's go Greer. Okay, now you're basically setting yourself up for failure, and it's not a Greer thing. It doesn't matter if Greer goes into this draft and says, yeah, no, I'm not listening to anybody. If I think this is the best player, I'm going to take him. And he has a great draft. Okay. What about your coach? Does it really matter? You just hope that they draft good players so they have them for the next coach down the line. If we're going to be honest, this draft is really more for 26 and 27. It's not for the 25 season. The 25 season is over. But NorCal's like, draft week, let's go Greer. But it doesn't really matter, because he might be drafting for the new GM. He's definitely drafting for the next coach. Not going to say the new GM because he might survive. What if McDaniel is the owner and Tom Garfinkel's call? What if somebody in the collective that wasn't him came up with McDaniel and they got convinced that the hierarchy? And Greer, Mr. I get along with everybody, says, all right, if this is what you guys feel, I'll work with them. So that's the one way I feel that he could survive, is if McDaniel wasn't his call. You know what I mean? So that's where I say, yeah, it's draft week, but I just hope they draft good players. But it's not like those players are really going to make a difference this year, because you don't have the coach that makes a difference. And again, do you want to be honest with yourself, or do you want to kind of like go into the season and lie to yourself? Okay, is this roster really going to be anywhere better than last year or the year before? No. So how do you overcome that? Oh, you need like a really great coach that can figure shit out and lift all ships. Is that Mike McDaniel? Or are you hoping that we have a draft that somehow or another they pick like 5 future Hall of Famers? Half the picks are not good picks. They're Hall of Famers. You like picked 5 Zach Thomases. Is that what we're hoping for? So that way, even a stupid coach will end, like a Barry Switzer will win because, hey, it's on cruise control. I don't have to do anything. I'm just trying to be honest. It's not beneficial for me. It's not beneficial for especially you weak-minded Dolphin fans. You hear that and it's like, oh my God, he's just looking at it all completely negative and all that. No, I'm looking at it incredibly realistic. Incredibly realistic, because if you think Mike McDaniel is anywhere close to being the guy, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you think that this team is going to be anywhere near what it was last year or the year before, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So I'm just saying, it's great. It's the draft. It's fun to do it, but really this draft is for 26 and 27. That's what this draft is. This draft is building blocks that you hope the next GM, if there's one, definitely the next coach, you hope they like these players. You hope they fit the scheme they want to run. You see what I'm talking about? So before you get excited about something, you know what I'm saying? Hope they hit, but even if they hit, they may not fit. And then if they don't fit, you must have quit. I'm just saying, dude. It's what we do. Sorry for the reality check. Sorry for telling you all out there what really is going on and how bad it really is. And by the way, if it gets bad with you, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, maybe condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury, call my friends Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume at 954-966-4646. And unfortunately, the bankruptcy calls have gone up. You know, we get the stuff during the hurricane season and all that. We had a lot of our listeners, by the way. We had several listeners on the West Coast called Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume, and they took care of them. They're in the process of it, of course, because that's a long process, as you all know. 954-966-4646. The consultation's completely free. So if you're having an issue, I don't care where you live in the Panhandle, in Central Florida, in Southern Florida, at the Gold Coast, call my guys, Jeff Welt and Daniel Rheaume. Pick up the phone, 954-966-4646. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Chainlink donations. Okay, people have made Bitcoin and Ethereum donations, and of course, regular donations. No one's made yet a Solana or Chainlink donation. So, and I am a Chainlink and Solana guy. So that is open. As always, remember, you can help us get to Spain. I'm not expecting much from this season. I hope they surprise the hell out of us. We'll cover it. We'll do our pre and post and all that. But the one game we do want to cover and on the road is in Spain, because that one might be at least special. You know, because you're in Spain and they're playing the Bengals supposedly, so it might be entertaining too. And we want to do our show for the first time ever at a Dolphins bar in Spain. And yes, it exists. It's funny. The Heat, there's no Heat bars. That shit don't exist around the country, around the world. Marlins bars never will. Inter Miami bars don't exist at all. Hell, they don't even exist here in South Florida. It's just like maybe a watch party. Okay. So who am I missing? Kane's. There's actually a couple of Kane's bars. And we went to one, Sean and I, in Flagler Beach in Daytona, because it's a Dolphins Kane's bar. Okay. But Dolphins, no Panthers, of course. There's no Panthers bars. But it's funny how the Dolphins don't produce jack shit. Jack shit. They are pathetic. And yet, our fan base is the best out there. We're all over the place. We're worldwide. And we actually have Dolphin bars all over the planet. So there's one in Spain, okay? And we want to broadcast from that one all week long. So we'll do our show Monday through Friday there, and then we'll do our pre and post on Sunday, and then we'll fly back on Monday. So help us get there to cover this legendary event and our platform. There's the QR code. Whatever donation you can make would be greatly appreciated, because if there's one thing we can make an event this season in the Dolphins, not much of it is going to be worthy. This one might be a little fun. So we'd like to be there and help us get there. Thank you all out there. As always, use the QR code. Bitcoin is climbing again, 87,514. So it's looking to make its way to 88. Ho-Yoon! Your generosity, sir, knows no boundaries. Thank you very, very much. Again, it's like clockwork, man. You are amazing every week. You give us an incredibly generous donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Ho-Yoon. You're awesome, dude. You're freaking amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. People like you keep us going, dude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And don't forget to hit the like button. All right? If you can't visit our sponsors, can't make a donation, you can also hit the like button. That's another way for us to grow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And don't forget PayPal's the other one for those of you out of town. All right, what do we got? NorCal's number one, Dolphin Dave. Yes, sir. You're going to get the honest talk here, no matter what. I don't give a shit. John Vasquez, Cosa Nostra, great morning. Hope you all had fun on 420 and Easter. There you go. I went to the Keys Key Largo. I went to the Keys on Saturday. Went down with the wife to go hang out for the day, go watch the sunset, go have some food. We went to this place. Shit, what's it called, man? High Tides. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. High Tides. Yes. It's in Key Largo. Okay. It's actually in Key Largo, right across from it's actually in Key Largo where the street, where the US 1 divides. And then the north and south have the island in the middle of it. Right at the beginning of that, which there's a mall, there's a Burger King, there's a CVS, and then High Tides is there. It's on the east side of it. Okay. And I got to tell you something. Mad props to those people. That might be some of the best seafood I've had in a while. Okay. Great little place. Mom and pop place. Super clean. Right? You could tell it gets business because it's got an extra dining room and all that. And it was, man, I got to tell you, the conch fritters I had there might be the best conch fritters I've had in the last 20 years. I don't know if I remember better conch fritters than those. Really, really good. They're lightly breaded too, so it's not overly breaded sometimes. But it was really good. I had this yellowtail sandwich, I think it was, if I'm correct. Ravi Rubia. And it was good. It was good. So props to that place, High Tides in Key Largo. And if you happen to be going to Key Largo or you are staying in Key Largo or cruising by and you need to eat somewhere, remember that place, High Tides. Remember where I told you it was. And good place, man. Really, really good place. So I had a good weekend. I saw the Gaga concert at Coachella. And, man, she is phenomenal, dude. She is phenomenal. The choreography, the performance, just outstanding, bro. She is really, really, really good. She's a super talent, man. Super talent. Had a really good weekend. Had a nice, relaxing Easter weekend, overall. Let's see. Big Johnson, Cosa Nostra, One-Eyed Jack, Jeff in Long Island. Fernando says, it was great seeing you this weekend. Oh, look, in Isla Morada, and saying a quick hello. I didn't want to impose on your family time. If you haven't, must try Square Grouper Restaurant. The food is amazing. See, that's the dude I saw. I saw him because I saw somebody else said hi to me, but the other people were like, it was like a group of people, and we were in the Isla Morada fishing company or whatever it is, where the sharks are at and all that kind of stuff, where they feed the sharks. Although we didn't see the sharks there. It was kind of weird. But that gentleman, Fernando, you must be the one I saw in the shell thing, because I could tell the other person probably was not going to be on right now. It's just a guess. The other gentleman, I didn't get either of your names, but the other gentleman was a whole family and all that kind of stuff. But Fernando, nice to meet you, sir. And so appreciate your support. I'll try it next time. I'll try the place. Thank you for the tip. TJ Superman, Pep. I'm frozen on YouTube. Am I? It's fine for me. I don't think so. Let's see.
Yes. Oh, he sent that at 9:49. So obviously he was looking at the picture you posted. I have no idea. I saw it as soon as I came on. I was like,
"Oh,
what is this?"
Well, maybe he's maybe it's 4:20 for him right now. You know what I'm saying? So he's like smoking.
Yes, I guess I want whatever he's had.
He's frozen. He's frozen. So, that's probably what happened. I'm just doing a play-by-play. I'm guessing. Let's see. Gus 1388. John Padilla's checking in from San Francisco. Alexis Palenzuela. Aquavision. Jay Gelfin is in the house, waiting for the NFL draft. Horn Dog. Can't wait for Thursday. Jack Roldan. Aquavision. Heat taking down Atlanta gives Spurs the lottery pick. Dude, at one point or another, you're going to pay the piper. This whole whining shit all the time. Well, if they make it, and then they don't get their first round pick, and this and that, and too bad, so sad. You made the deal. At one point or another, you were going to have to do this. It is what it is. I'm glad they showed spine. Look, let me tell you something, and this is a good segue to lead into Ira. I am really happy they made the playoffs. I needed to see them show me some spine and beat these scrubs to get into the playoffs. Because if you can't beat these scrubs, then who the hell are you guys? And this is what we talked about. The only way you save this season is by making the playoffs. If you can't get out of the play-in, then you guys are pathetic. And so God bless them, dude. They stepped up. They won the 2 road games. They got in. I don't care if they lose a stupid draft pick. They'll move on. They finally paid the price. It was going to happen one way or another. Move on. That's it. So what? Now let's see what you got against Cleveland. So I want to see this. This is how we're going to find out if they can grow. Yesterday, they had moments. They kept it close. Then eventually Cleveland warmed down and pulled away. They made their mistakes. We'll get into it. Ira and I will talk about it in a couple minutes here. And then I'm going to give you more thoughts on it too. But this needed to happen because it's a domino effect. Sure, you lose a draft pick, but more importantly, you find out about these guys. Last night, just a couple of notes that I'm frustrated. Bam, inefficient Bam shows up. Tyler Hero got punked from the 10-minute mark of the third quarter to like the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter. The guy didn't score. That's not how you're the guy. That's they chased you down. They made sure you weren't an impact, and you weren't. Well, that's not what stars do. Stars find a way to be an impact whether they like it or not. The team, you frustrate the opponent. And Bam, inefficient Bam is not good. What was it yesterday? For Bam, 10 of 22. Missing free throws like gimmies. You can't do that, bro. You just can't do that. And that's exactly what he did yesterday. And you guys are the lead dogs. By the way, just looking at it, Bam, you shot too much. When you're not efficient, do your job. Be the service guy. Help everybody else. Wiggins, you shot 11 times, 5 of 11. You, sir, did not shoot enough. You know, Davion Mitchell, big cojones, 8 of 12. Some guys had some balls and showed up, and other guys that you needed, and this is what you got to find out. So, and if it continues like this, it just gives me more power to say this is why Tyler should be traded, and you trade him to a team that already has a couple stars, and he could complement them. And that's how he'll get all his shots. But if he has to be one or two, and they have to focus on you, this is what happened yesterday. You know, it's probably why he's a 3 or 4. More realistically, not a 1 or a 2. And last night was perfect example. An elite team came to play, and your best 2 players did not step up to the challenge the way they're supposed to. And other players stepped up to the challenge, but they didn't. By the way, a little side note, I would have liked Pallel Larson in that game. Okay? Just because I think you needed a little bit more of an edge from this team because it has none. You know, Davion Mitchell brings an edge, but there's not enough guys that bring an edge. And I'd rather him learn. To me, I sat there at the end of the game last night, and I said, you're in the playoffs, maybe for only one round. Are we supposed to not give Pallel Larson any playing time so he never gets the feel of the playoffs? I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. So I don't know. I'll ask Ira about that because I think this is a time where your people haven't earned the right to have such a tight rotation. Like, oh no, let me go to the guys I can count on. Who the hell is that? I mean, give me a break. Duncan comes in and just does a whole bunch of goofball shit right away. So Cam Jurgens and the Eagles have reached the deal on a 4-year, $68 million extension, which includes $39.4 million guaranteed. Okay. And more importantly, Bitcoin's at 88,135. It continues to pump, baby. The market is down 734 points, and Bitcoin is pumping. The decoupling is beginning. People are saying, got to put my money where it's going to grow. Gold, Bitcoin, dollars going down. All right. Anyway. Interesting. But hey, we're not financial advisors. You do your own thing. All right, let's do it. Let's talk about what we just talked about. The Miami Heat and their loss to the Cavs, 121-100. And our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report with the one and only Ira Winderman.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Well, Ira, unfortunately, the Heat and John Morant, they weren't cocked and loaded for the challenge.
I'll leave that alone, although you guess you could say that the Cavaliers threw a grenade in the Heat locker room in the game one of this series. You know what? We knew they would be overmatched. But let's be honest here, Big O, before we get to all of your negativity today. You and I spoke last week, I'm being facetious, that if the Heat got to this series and made it a playoff season and accomplished something tangible, that the takeaway would be a step forward. So we spoke last week before the Bulls. We spoke last week before they went and won in Atlanta. A little bit tenuously, but still did. They salvaged their season. You know what the next salvage job would be? If you and I are still talking next week because the Heat have to come back here to Cleveland for a game 3 and actually win a game in this series, just like Boston last year. We all remember that game 2 in Boston when Tyler Hero went off and sort of introduced himself as a standalone star. I need to see that again. There are things I still need to see in this series so I can trust Heat players, be it Khalil Ware show something, be it Tyler Hero beat the defense. Things still can be accomplished, but let's not kid ourselves. The expiration date is near because the Cavaliers are a great team, not just a good team.
Well, I just touched on it. Let's run a couple things by you on this one. First of all, Bam and Tyler, guys, this is your moment, right? I mean, you got to do better. Bam, you got to be way more efficient than you were yesterday. 10 of 22 is unacceptable. Missing easy free throws is unacceptable. Tyler, you cannot go in the second half for almost an entire quarter in between the third and the fourth and not score. You're the guy, right? You got to find a way to be more impactful. I would say that's one issue there. If you want to at least try to find a way to win one game, because that's really the goal. If you win one game, it becomes really but
to address that first point of yours, I would say more on Tyler than Bam, just for this reason, Big O. We know Bam's not a scorer. We know offense is secondary to him. Defensively, he worked his ass off. He tried to cover for other players. Khalil was lost out there. We'll get to that. The talk about after games like this, about Tyler, they may be their focus. They were loading up on me. That's what great players deal with in the NBA all the time. Right. Be it a Jason Tatum, be it a Giannis, be it some of the other scoring guards, including, honestly, a Donovan Mitchell in this series. So for a player to say, well, they were loading up on me, if you are a great dynamic scorer, you find a way. And Tyler has. Tyler has shown over the year he can find other ways to get it done. We certainly know Eric Spoelstra will find other options. But you can't have a scorer saying, well, they were all over me. They made me the focus. You're damn well right. Because on October 1st, when you asked Pat Riley to write a check for an extension at $50 million a year, the excuse can't be, well, they're loading up on me. That's why I'm struggling. The reality has to be, I'm an MFer, and I will get mine no matter what it takes. That's what Tyler Hero's mindset has to be. Because unlike Bam, there is no defensive component on the other side.
Okay, then the other thing that I came away with that I'm a little sour on, and I love my guy Spo, but you're here for a short time. Okay, let's make the best of it. You left Larson on the bench. You left others on the bench. This is give them the experience. And part 2 of that question, what was missing out of the Miami Heat last night is toughness. You got to push a little bit more. I need more sons of bitches on the court. Pallel Larson has a little dog in him. He's a little bit of a son of a bitch, and he's so young, he doesn't even know any better, which is even more dangerous, which I love. I want him to deal his 5 fouls in there because I know within that time he's going to make some plays. He's the guy who's going to be diving for loose balls. Him and Davion Mitchell add something that they just don't bring to the table on a consistent basis. I want a little more toughness. Plus, you got an opportunity to get some of these guys' experience in the playoffs. I don't want you to, if you do get eliminated in 4 or 5 games, I don't want to sit here and say, wow, Hillel Larson didn't get any playing time, didn't get any experience in the playoffs. That's not good. I think this is an opportunity where you got to expand your roster a little bit more and add an element that you don't have.
Well, multiple points there. First of all, as far as the effort and all that, let's face it. If you're a video gamer, Big O, they were running on fumes. Their energy level was low. That Atlanta game took everything out of them. They flew overnight, optional practice Saturday, shoot around Sunday. I mean, that's the price you pay of being a playing team. If Cleveland was off not only for a full week, they were resting their players the final week of the season. They were locked and loaded. The Heat were exhausted. Perfect time now for a 2-day break. To your other point, I agree that against a dynamic opponent like Cleveland, you cannot go in trying to solely win with one-dimensional players. God bless Duncan Robinson and Alec Burks, but they're one-trick ponies. They either make the threes or they don't, but that's it. Appella Larson can give you energy, give you slashing, give you defense, give you the effort, give you attacking. A Nikola Jovic can give you some of the size you need, some of the shooting you need, some of the presence and ball movement you need. So I agree with that. It's a tough call.
And freshness. Take some minutes off your
energy. I agree with all of that. So Eric Spoelstra, it's a very subtle thing here, Big O. You don't want to make it look like you're panicking. You don't want to make it look like you're moving off what got you through the play-in with that 9-man core. But yeah, this demands something different because you're not in Chicago anymore. You're not in Atlanta anymore. God bless those wins. But let's face the reality. Those teams suck. Those teams had losing records. That was not a great statement by the Heat. The Heat just showed they could push through with this rotation against mediocrity. I totally agree. You're going to have to sort of search and find other ways. Eric Spoelstra is very good at that. He has 2 days now in the laboratory. I'm very interested to see what game 2 looks like. I can almost guarantee it will look different.
By the way, I can spin that like you say, well, you want to stick with what got you through the play-in. Hold on. Hillel Larson got your ass into the play-in. Okay, let's stick with the people that got you on the streak. Let's stick with the people that helped you get in the play-in. Larson was a big player during that stretch. He helped out a lot in those games. So reward the young men. Plus, again, the Davion Mitchell, I talked about this last week. It's interesting. What you're getting from Davion Mitchell is what you thought you were going to get from Terry. From Scary Terry. You go, okay, he's always been inconsistent, this, that. We'll get him. Well, like we've done with many other players in the past, and we'll get the best out of him, like a Whiteside or a James Johnson or an Eric Murdoch or a Isaac Austin or whatever the hell we could talk about for 25 years that they've done, which is all true. And they saw the same thing in Davion because, as you and I know, and we read it last week on Friday, I had Sean look it up. Look at all his offensive numbers. They're all skyrocketing now in efficiency compared to where he was. And that's the Heat culture that they think that, as long as a player's willing to do it and all that, they usually can make more people better because of who they are. And Davion Mitchell is a perfect example of what he's brought to the table and what the Heat culture has done for him too at the same time.
And it's interesting you mentioned Terry Rozier, and I wrote this in my blog today. The Heat need a sidekick for Tyler Hero, who's also a scorer. They thought when they traded for Terry Rozier, that's what they were getting last January, that they were getting that component so it wouldn't all be on Tyler, and then it went south. I actually ran into Eric Reed and John Crotty at breakfast this morning and had the audacity to mention maybe they need some Terry, and I could not have been shot down any quicker on that you've
Right.
sort of been there, seen that, done that, and probably go to, like you said, Pelle Larson or Nikola Jovic first to shake it up a little. You do need to shake it up. Game 1 showed you need to shake it up. I would love Terry Rozier to do what he did in Cleveland last season when he came in the end of the season, lit up the Cavaliers, had the Heat walking away with a victory. He just hasn't been that in so long. I don't know if he can conjure that again. That's the problem. You look at the depth of the rotation of the Cavaliers, of a Ty Jerome coming in, of an Isaac Okoro coming in, of a DeAndre Hunter coming in. The Heat have that depth. It just hasn't produced. Terry Rozier hasn't produced. Jaime Jaquez Jr. hasn't produced. So all of a sudden, when you say the Heat need more energy, my God, you're playing Haywood Highsmith 39 freaking minutes in a playoff game because you don't have plan C, D, and E. That's the problem. The Heat depth has really let them down this season. I agree.
Yeah, although I think the coach kind of let himself down because I would have played Larson last night for sure. And because as big and long also as Cleveland is, I would have Jovic in there too. And again, my guys had just played 2 nights ago and they're dead. I thought those 2 guys could have helped out and given some fresh legs and give those guys some time. I just hope 2 days from now on Wednesday, we're going to see those guys. And that's the bright spot now. That Spo and company got a game in their bag now, and now they're going to go and slice and dice this bitch for the next 2 days and prepare these kids.
And they will. They're the Heat. That's what they do. They go to the lab. Spo will come up with something.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same rotation to start, I think there'll be a quicker hook because of the desperation of hoping not to go down 0-2. But you know what? If you go home down 0-2, but at least you're competitive in game 2, you create optimism for, hey, these home playoff games might have meanings. At least try to make the Big O watch on split screen when for some reason the Panthers and Heat are both playing exactly at 1 p.m. on Saturday. Idiots. I mean, there's got to be a better way to work out the scheduling than that. That's just a damn shame. And you have the third day of the NFL draft. Saturday's going to be an interesting sports day in South Florida. You might need to come up with a bonus episode.
By the way, I may do it on Saturday. This is old Heat talk into new Heat, and you've mentioned this before on the show that this Heat team is the Heat team that you want to bring home with your daughter and say, hey, Dad, look, I met this guy. He's a really nice guy, because it's a roster of really good guys overall, and all that kind of stuff, and maybe too good. And so last night, there was an opportunity. There was a golden opportunity. Unfortunately, it was the wrong guy to be in that. You know what I'm about to say?
Was it the Duncan Donovan Mitchell moment?
Yes. If you're smart, when he pushes you, brother, you push him even harder.
Into the stands.
And try to light him up to see if he fights. And that way, both of you get ejected, and it's a beautiful trade-off. And I looked at Duncan last night, and I was like, my brother, you have to be the sacrificial lamb here. You have to do this. But it's just not in this team's DNA. Why the hell do you think I want Larson in there? Because you're not going to tell Davion Mitchell or Larson how to play the goddamn game. They're going to play the way they play, whether you like it or not.
Duncan Robinson is not Sam Bennett. Duncan Robinson is not going to go to Brad Marchand when he's still in Boston and put him out for the rest of the series. It's just not who he is. But I noticed that moment, that the one moment of true feistiness when they had an opportunity, it was just the wrong guy at the wrong moment in the wrong place. Look, Big O, let's go through this roster.
I'm like, where is Keith Askins?
That's what I'm saying. They don't have an enforcer. You can go through this entire roster. The Heat typically do have an enforcer on their roster, even if it's someone like a Thomas Bryant. You'd have a guy. Remember Thomas Bryant, when the Heat got into all their scuffles, including a year ago in New Orleans, when he got suspended for 2 games and he was backing up Jimmy Butler in that moment. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it back on you. If there is one guy on the Heat, who would that guy be?
Send in the Michael Pittman, baby. Wham! Come on, let's go.
Yeah, they don't have that guy. There's probably not a guy I can tell you that, hey, if there's a guy that's going to come out off the bench throwing, James Johnson they had, Deion Waiters would have been a player like that. They don't have that kind of personality. So that's the push-pull of having a roster of 15 really nice guys.
Larson might have gotten a little feisty in that moment right there. Although now that I think about it, if Donovan Mitchell's playing in the same time as Keith Askins, there's no effing way he's stupid enough to push Keith Askins. That's the only thing, because if you know the person, like, what, you're going to push UD? Like, no, you're not. You're going to try to get to your player. You might say, excuse me, or something, or go around. But there are certain guys you can push Duncan Robinson because there's not going to be any.
Or if you push PJ Tucker, he sends you flying into the stands like Charlie Ward, the new coach at FAMU. So that's the difference. Whether it was a Brian Grant
or you push PJ Brown to stay in the PJs. You know what I'm saying? But that was a moment last night that I was like, brother, this was such. God, man, come on. That would have been awesome.
Not who they are, not who the NBA is today. Deal with it. Zoe was in the stands watching, but not actually involved in the actual game.
Oh, God. All right, so what are we expecting in game 2?
Well, I'm going to be honest. As someone who follows the NBA, more of the same, because Cleveland is very, very good. 27 games better than the Miami Heat. Look, it is going to take the Heat's best game and something far less than the Cavaliers' best game for the Heat to get something here. But again, they were within 6 points in the third quarter. They were within 7 midway through the fourth. I think that's what the Heat has to do. Junk it up. Get behind like they did yesterday by 16-17. Get close to the end and then make winning plays at the end. The Heat's going to have to win winning time like they did in that overtime against Atlanta.
The Ja Morant thing, just a little karma. Karma's good sometimes.
Yeah, it's a shame because they do have so much talent in that Memphis team, and it's just so disjointed. And again, you can sit here and you can say, is Ja Morant a winning player? He hasn't shown that yet. So let me throw it back to you, because this is what we do on our Acura of Pembroke Pines report. We'll be doing it all summer. Ja Morant, Miami Heat, your thoughts, Big O?
Oh, God. I mean, he's such a – the problem is, can you reach him? Can you reach him? Does he?
If anyone could, if anyone can, this would seem to be a place players want to go.
I would take a chance on him than Zion. I would never, ever bring Zion here, because Zion is he's
health, body, breakdown.
And there's a level of laziness in him that you just can't.
I think it's more the lack of games played. So the question is, would you rather take a chance on head games and the mental, or take a chance on the physical? Well, the physical, you have MRIs and you know what's not going to be there, and you've seen the breakdowns. On the mental, the Heat have turned so many careers in that direction, including making Anthony Mason not only an all-star starter, but making him a fortune in free agency. So the question becomes, what price? But I'm going to throw it to you this way, and I think I know your answer. The cost would probably be this. Would you trade Tyler Hero for Ja Morant?
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
That's what it would take.
In a heartbeat. Yes, you can have him.
I'll tell them. Andy Ellisberg is out here traveling. I'll let him know, Big O.
Dude, I'll drive Tyler, or fly, or whatever. I'll make sure he gets there with no problem. Yes. Yes. I'll take the chance, because Ja just needs to get his head out of his ass. He just needs to grow the hell up already, dude. Right. And then you can win with him. Zion, I don't think he'll grow up, and I don't think he physically holds up. And so why am I even going to take that one? I would be very critical of, just like the Kyle Lowry deal. I would be very critical of the Heat on that one. But the Ja Morant one, I would go with, because Ja also goes, oh, well, wait a minute. Now I'm going to somewhere where there's banners, there's Pat Riley. These people know what the hell they're doing. If I fail here, I'm going to look like a real horse's ass.
And maybe doesn't care. And maybe doesn't care. There's plenty of guys who look like horses' asses and cashed out and cashed in and called it a career. So you can also wind up with the knucklehead. So, but there's going to be so many interesting names. We are going to go back to Kevin Durant. We are going to look at Zion. We are going to go back to Ja. There's going to be names out there. And you know what? If you're a whale hunter and you've sharpened your harpoon for 3 years, you're going to fling that thing out to sea and see what you can come back with, because the Heat, even in this series, exposes they're not good enough. They have to do something. They have to get better, because you know what? Right now, they're setting up as nothing more than a play-in team next year as well. because the Sixers could get right, because Detroit is not going anywhere, because Orlando's going to get Jalen Suggs back. So the Heat, if they realize in this East, they're going to have to do a little bit more, and Cleveland is showing them how hard it is to win, even in the East.
Explain once again to the folks out there the playoff, how it affects the draft
Well,
picks.
We're sort of done. The Heat do not have their own first-round pick this year. It goes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have a gazillion picks. It'll be number 15. Today at 3 o'clock, unless you're listening to this down the road, Monday at 3 o'clock, the NBA is going to have a draw for the 18th and 19th and 20 picks. That's the first rounder the Heat are getting for the trade from Jimmy Butler. We'll see where they draft. They got Jaquez, a value at 18. They've done well. Precious Achiuwa at number 20. Could have had Tyrese Maxey at number 20 that year. So you can get something out of it. It also means that instead of an unprotected lottery pick to Charlotte in 28, it's now a protected pick, top 14 protected to Charlotte in 27 from the worst trade ever, the Terry Rozier trade. So by making the playoffs, the Heat, even if they don't get past and won't get past the Cavaliers, they've eased their lottery burden down the road, but they still will have a first-round pick this year.
Like I was telling people that complain about this, at one point or another, they had to pay the piper, bro.
You do. You made a couple of deals. You cast your future to the moment. This team lives in the moment. It's the same way with Big O and his investments. You just live in the moment.
Damn right. And Bitcoin's over 88, baby. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Better yet, subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel so you don't miss a damn thing. Ira, thank you as always. We will catch up next week, my friend.
Catch you next Monday in our Acura of Pembroke Pines report when it might be 3-0 Cleveland, but hopefully something better as that day we look into Game 4 against the Cavaliers. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. Thank you, Ira. Let's hope that they can sneak one. Just give me one, bro. Just give me one. Folks, you can get electrified. The ZDX is in stock at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. You can get it for $439 a month, 0% financing for 72 months. The RDX, my wife drives that every single day for the last 15 years. $399 a month, the number one volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. There is no better Acura dealership than, of course, Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. The MDX, we can take $10,000 off the MSRP. The ADX, you got to check out that new sedan. It is beautiful. New model, $359 a month. They just arrived. They've got a bunch now in stock, so you can select the Integra 2025 model, $339 a month, 3.9% financing. Tell them that Big O sent you. Check out the fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. They look like they're brand new. And the service center, it is absolutely awesome. Mike Chen, Jordan Ferber, they are fantastic human beings. They will take care of you. And that service center is golden, baby. You get to relax, kick back. They got TVs, free water for you. They got a cafeteria. So if you want a little pastelito or a little coffee or some or soda, you can get it all there while you wait and get that oil change at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA Report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the number one volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Oh, man. Let's see. What do we got here? Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make not only a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, but also Chainlink and Solana, too. Which is amazing that Venmo has added that. Where's Bitcoin at? 88,000. Let me see the latest update. Come on. 88,018. It was at 88,166, but it actually dropped just a little bit. And the market is down, holy shit, 850 points. S&P's down 117. The NASDAQ is down over a point now, man. That is bad. That's bad. That's bad. So, oh well. Oh, that's bad. All right, Cavs defeat the Heat 121-100 in a game where, look, it's already a Cooper Flag has declared for the 2025 NFL draft. Really? Is that supposed to be like shocking breaking news? Sean, I'm sure you're surprised that Cooper Flag is going into the NBA draft. You're shocked. Look at him. Look at him. I think he's hyperventilating right now. I'm looking at him right now off camera. I don't think he can handle the news. He thought for sure he was going to come back for a few more years. Anyway, as we get into the silliness. So Cavs defeat the Heat. It's already a successful season for this Heat group right here. For them to finish out, get in the play-in, and then get out of the play-in and be the 8th seed in the playoffs. It's fantastic. What becomes a really successful season for them, all they got to do is win a game. They win 2, it's almost like winning a title for them. You know, they're playing against a team that is way better. They're going to need to put it all together just one of these nights and try to eke out a victory if they can, where you play just an amazing set of defense. You're everywhere. You know, it looks like you got 6 people out there and every shot falls. You know, one of those nights. That's what you need. That's what we got to hope for overall. But again, it's got to be led by guys like Bam and Tyler. They've got to. And as I told Ira, Palo Larson has got to be in the lineup. I don't disagree a lot with Eric Spoelstra, as you all know. And how about some of you that were questioning Eric Spoelstra and how he got into the playoffs now? And some of you are just looking stupid wanting to change that guy. Anyway, I rarely disagree with him on this one, but on this one I do. I'm sorry. I rarely disagree with him, but on this one I do. And I just thought Larson is needed because, one, Jovic, Larson bring all kinds of gifts to the floor, and they can help you on both sides of the court. They're also facilitators. They're scorers. They have a little bit of a defensive mentality to them. Sure, are they young? Just like Khalil Ware got a little handled yesterday at times because his body's not ready for that. Same, yeah, man. But let's get them some experience. And if there's a mistake I thought Spo made, that was it yesterday. Okay? Does it mean that you would have won if you would have played them? No, but it alleviates some of the workload from some of the guys that should be dead tired, which they were. Plus, it gets the young guys experience. So going into game 2, Jovic and Larson would already have a feel for how's it going to be. They were sitting on the sidelines, but they weren't in the damn game. And it would have been good to get them in the game and get them a little feel for it. That's just me, dude. I mean, I don't know how many of you agree with me on that, but I definitely would have used Larson and definitely Jovic also, and get those guys in there and extend, you know, the rotation overall. I hope they do that on Wednesday because Larson, along with Mitchell, they just bring something that the rest of the Heat players don't have, unfortunately. Let's see. What else do we have here? Aquavision, Heat taking down Atlanta, gives Spurs lottery pick. That's right. Jack Rodan, may the Pope rest in peace. Jamie Zorria in San Jose. Mark Smith with the number 13 pick in the NFL draft. The Miami Dolphins take Uncle Rico throwing the ball over a mountain in his personal workout. Seal the deal. Lenny Pena is in. This Cavs team is a different animal. These ain't the Bulls or the Hawks. We're going to have to be perfect to take a game or two in this series. Let's go, Heat. Yeah. It's got to be just that perfect game. I'm praying that they at least get one. If they can get one, that would be so awesome for all of us. And it'd be good for those kids. Juan Rosa, rise and shine, Big O. Heat's going to play different the next few games. Hopefully they can pull it off. Let's go Heat. Well, I don't know about pull it off, but just win a game. True Fin fan, Omar Kelly is saying the Miami Dolphins are picking a kicker from Psychoville, U, called Ray Finkel. Thoughts? Frankie Fresco, John Cena did nothing last night and still won the championship belt. I have no idea. I can't comment on that because I have no idea. Sean, would you like to say something on that?
John Cena did exactly what he said he was going to do. He ruined professional wrestling for the wrestling fans.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was okay.
Oh, if you go to the wrestling timeline on X, oh my goodness.
All right.
Oh boy.
Personally, for me, I don't think, that sport should have guys that old already doing all that, but that's just me. Frankie says, if Greer survives, I may just go and stand in front of a train. Justin Floyd says, I may be alone, but I like Greer as a drafter, 10 picks. I'm expecting 4 or 5 good players. Excited to see who he's going to draft. Yeah, the only problem is he's handing the players off to the wrong coach. Horn Dog says, we need Greer to have an Ozzie Newsome type of draft and McDaniel to pivot his coaching style. Yeah, but I don't know how that happens, dude. NorCal says, Big O, Katy Perry says she saw a Finn's bar on Mars while she was in space. Boy, they're getting killed for their flight to space because, they were just up there for a couple seconds, then came back down. Oh, man. Corso says, who wants a tariff? Everybody wants tariffs. I mean, it's going to be so good for us. We're going to be so rich. Look how everything's responding. It's been so good for the economy. I mean, we're just making all kinds of friends all over the world. Everybody loves us. Brian Radke says, AC/DC will be your best concert ever. Be ready to have your face melted by Angus. Well, Brian, I love you, but there's no way AC/DC can pass what I saw with AC/DC 30 and 40 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So, there's no way they can surpass the Back in Black or the For Those About to Rock tour or what is it? Light the flick of the switch. I think those are like the, first 3 or something like that. Tours after, Bond died. And I saw those and I don't think so, bro. Don't think I'm expecting a great show, Brian. I love AC/DC. I've got the 21 song, what's it called? Set list. By the way, not for nothing, but I thought you guys got hosed. I'm just going to say, I think you guys got hosed. Okay. Let me do this here. Let me see if it's here. Where do I put it? Let me make sure I put it up. Okay, let's go with here at the store. Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect. All right, you guys be a judge of this. Okay. I feel bad for Brian because he's a great dude. Met him and his wife. All right. Out in California. Brian, did you buy a shirt? Is what I want to know. Did you buy a shirt to this thing? Do you go and buy the shirt? Did you buy the Pasadena shirt? Because I got to tell you, you guys got like I'm hoping Tampa's way better. Okay. All right, let me take this off. I thought you guys got hosed. You got the whole lot of Rosie. I don't know. Kind of an ugly shirt. You like that one, Sean? No, right? That was the Pasadena shirt.
He said yes.
He said yes. He did? Yeah, you got ripped off, bro. I love you, but you got ripped off. Look at the Dallas shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, yeah, I got to tell you, I hope the Tampa shirt is better. The Minnesota shirt, look at the Minnesota shirt. Well, it looks cool. A whole lot of Rosie. Love the song. Just not the shirt. Not the shirt, I got to say. So hopefully we get a better shirt in Tampa. What do you got there, Sean? Oh, no? Okay. So not for nothing, Brian, but not a fan of that one. Not a fan of the whole lot of Rosie. I thought that one was kind of a weak sauce overall. Let's see. Horn Dog. Corso Traven. Music Tariff. Boston or Kansas? Wow. That's really difficult. Really difficult. Man. I'm going to go slight lean to Boston, bro. Slight lean to Boston. I love Kansas so much. But those first two albums from Boston were so freaking good. I mean, Kansas is better because you have a much bigger catalog, more music, more better music too. Actually, Kansas is the better band because even the versions of the band now with Ronnie Platt leading, the last couple of albums have been terrific. You know what? I'm going to say Kansas over Boston. Yeah, Boston just did not do enough. I love their first two albums, but no, dude, no, Kansas over Boston. Now that I think about it, yeah, I'm taking Kansas over Boston. Unfortunately, as much as I love Boston, Kansas just has accomplished a lot more. Let's see. Lord Warden. Dustin is checking in from the Albany airport, headed to Kentucky to get ready for the Derby. Nice job by you, sir. Enjoy, Dustin. Very cool. Let's see. The making of the playoffs at least shows me the young guys want to be here and they want to win, even if we're not there right now. I'm with you, Juan. I'm with you on that one. True FinFan says, Big O, whenever you and the wife have time, try the crunchy grouper at Black Point Grill. You'll thank me later. And they're in Key Largo, Black Point Grill. Okay. I'll write this one down too. All right. Since we live down West Kendall, so far down, like Key Largo is like a 45-minute drive. It's not so bad, an hour. So like sometimes we don't mind driving over to Key Largo and hang out for the day and enjoy the sunset and have some food and stuff. So not ever a bad thing. And there was no fires. So I knew that I'd be able to come back with no problem, that kind of shit. Let's see who else is on the chat board. Finn 120. The Heat are done. Yeah, the Heat did great. And they did what they were supposed to do. If they get a game, whatever. My God, everyone thinks the Heat team is good. Nobody thinks they're good. But anyway, sounds like some moron named Finn's 1120 got on. Maybe he's probably one of those football guys that like doesn't want to hear anything about basketball, and he just kind of he's probably the guy that falls into that Neanderthal world of football, that those guys that are just all football and programmed, and that's it. That's all they do and eat and live. Brian says they will surpass it. Just wait. Okay. All right. Brian says 3 T-shirts. We got robbed on the shirts for LA. By the way, although did you have a shot at any good bootlegs outside of the stadium? Because in LA, you're going to have a shot at good bootlegs. Oh, Brian says, I didn't buy the Pasadena shirt. Worst shirt ever. Oh, smart move by you. So you bought some of the other ones. I got to go to the pop-up store because I know they'll have some shirts that they won't have at the concert sometimes. So nobody's fool is in the house. Nobody's fool. Nobody's fool. Who sings that? Is that Cinderella? Nobody's fool? Who sings Nobody's Fool? I think is it Cinderella? Anyway. Magnus is in the house. John Wayne, happy Monday to you, sir. Heat is supposed to lose, but Cavs better not slip up. It's a good, tough test for them. Big O got that Thursday itch coming. It'll be here soon, bro. Pop-up store was a letdown in Hollywood. Really? Wow. Well, okay. It is Cinderella? There you go. There's so much like useless, like just stuff that floats around in that noggin of mine. Stuff that I just like, really. Who cares? But yet somehow it's stuck there in my mind. But once in a while, I end up using the useless information here. Isn't that pretty amazing? We're all excited or trying to get excited about Thursday in the draft. And one of the things that the conversation that I love, and it started kind of last week with David Furones, or the week before, actually. And we started talking about the reset, reload, what's it called? Tearing it down, whatever you want to call this whole thing for the Miami Dolphins. And it's really not. It's survival. The thing is, a lot of you don't see light at the end of the tunnel, which makes all the sense in the world. And God bless you for being smart. So you'd rather them start the rebuild. Right? Because you're done with everything going on, top to bottom. You want everything changed. The only problem is it's kind of a year where everybody has got something different on the table. Okay? And that's what you guys have to understand, what's going on. And what I mean by when I go like this, actually I should just go like this, because it's 3 of them. I can only do 2, but 3 here. And so you've got the fans. They want to rebuild. A lot of them. They want to tear this shit down. You got the owner. Whether he wants to tear it down or not, we don't know. We don't know if he wants to tear it down or not. Or if he's, smart enough to know, oh, this thing is screwed. But because of the financials, and I already see it from fans, they'll figure out a way to start the rebuild next year. And I'm like, no, they won't be able to figure out a way to start. No rebuild next year, nothing. They will have cap problems next year that they cannot do anything. So we're in a thing for 2 years. So you've got the owner, and we don't know where he stands because we know he's not smart in football. We know he doesn't know shit about football. So we don't know if he actually thinks they've got a shot, or he has the logic in him that says, well, they've blown their load. These guys, they can't reload. They can't go buy new guys because we're stuck where we're at. We're stuck fiscally over the next 2 years. No reason to get rid of them right now. let them play out the year, see what happens. Then next year we can get better people to come over because they're not going through 2 years of cap issues, only one major year. And then in their second year, they're off and running and they can start to have flexibility. You understand? So that's why they're not going to do that here. And then you've got the coaches. So you've got the owners here, you've got the owners here, the fans here, and now you've got Greer and McDaniel. And those guys want to save their jobs. So for them, they can never say rebuild. They can never say, we're taking a step back and all that, because they don't have that luxury. At least that's what I think. That's what you think. That's what everybody thinks. They're fighting for their jobs. The owner, we don't know if he knows or doesn't know where he is right now. But either way, because of the financials, he can't make any moves anyways. It doesn't really matter. You're not going to make anybody happy. It's like Chris Greer didn't really need that press conference. Nothing's worked for the man right now. So there was nothing he was ever going to say in that press conference to appease anybody, to make anybody happy. No fan was going to walk away. Oh, no, dude. Yeah, no, everything's going to be just fine. No. And unfortunately, he looked like a man that was defeated. Yet, he can't really go out and say that he's defeated, even though he kind of looked it. There are 3 different agendas. And everybody has a reason for why they have their agenda. Very few fans really think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, at this point, the only people that think you can actually have a good season, or this is our year, or we're going to go all the way or whatever, those are blind ass fans. Those are people that, they can't deal with the realities. So they have to kind of lie to themselves. So they just convince themselves, any given Sunday. It's not the reality. So unfortunately, there are 3 agendas in the Dolphins season in 2025. It sucks, but this is exactly where we're at. And nobody's going to be happy. Fans in general, will not be happy with the owner's stance one way or the other. Fans will not be happy with Greer and McDaniel, no matter what. And most fans know that it's really a meaningless season coming up. The only ones are the ones that are trying to convince themselves that, some miracle can happen or something like that. But it's a strange season. It's one that we haven't seen much of. We've seen bad seasons and all that, but man, they are stuck in like the abyss. It's like when airplanes in general, they try to avoid crossing the Pacific Ocean. Like when they go from LA over to the Far East, right? Well, they fly like in a horseshoe where they're closer to land, closer to Alaska, right? And because of the world being a sphere, it's kind of almost also another way of it kind of being direct, even though it doesn't look direct. But that's a whole other mathematical thing that we don't need to get into. But my point is that you want to try to avoid, the perils of going through, because if you have any problems with the plane and you're in the middle of the Pacific, there's nowhere to go. If you do it this way, where you're following and you're closer to bodies of land and you have any problems, you can, it's kind of like that. Well, we're kind of in a season of that. And our season's going right through the Pacific. There's no, we're done, and some fans are hoping that the plane can make it through and all that, kind of like when you got to go to Australia and you really got to cross. And the only thing between you and Australia is the Galapagos or whatever, Galapagos Islands or something. You can't really land there. Yeah, not good. Not good. It's going to be ugly, man. Agendas everywhere. Who do the Dolphins? What do you want the Dolphins to do in the draft, Big O? I'm torn because I think they're going to go corner now with the whole Jalen Ramsey thing, and then the top 3 corners, and then after there's a major drop off after that, and they need corners badly. If they're not going to keep it was Jalen and then the other kids. Now it's just the kids. So I think they're going to go out and get a corner. I would rather, since you are building for 26 and 27, I would rather you get linemen, D or O linemen. You know, that's what I would rather you do. I'm just, I'm at a point where, what am I going to tell you, man? What am I going to tell you? Osmani Garcia, by the way, the Omega Realty Group has got the 30-day guarantee going on. They will sell your home in 30 days or he'll buy it. It's a beautiful thing. Call Osmani right now. There's the number 305-440-1990. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. I've known this man for over 15 years. He's as straight up as it gets. Call him, see if your home qualifies. 305-440-1990. He will sell your home in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it. So if you live in the state of Florida, call my guy, Osmani Garcia, and he will get it done. Omega Realty Group. Tell him that Big O sent you. All right, Corso Traven, thank you for the love on the super chat. Says, to be serious for once, do you never see McDaniel becoming a good coach eventually? No, I don't actually. I'm tired of watching players and coaches leave and have success, or do we tariff everyone? Ha ha ha. Well, they're tariffing us because we have to pay the price for shitty coaches after shitty coaches after shitty coaches. I have no hope for Mike McDaniel. My brother, he hasn't figured out how to get a play in on time on a consistent basis 3 years in. 3 years in. The first year, he's a rookie coach. He's trying to balance everything. I can give him some breaks, dude. But when it's habitual, no. I can't, Corso. I'm not going to lie to myself and that, oh, no, yeah, Joe Philbin's going to figure it out, and Adam Gase is going to figure it out, and Tony Sperano is going to stop loving field goals. And did any of them figure it out? Did run your fingers through your hair Wanstead figure them out? None of them figure it out. Once you see them for a couple of years, you're like, okay, this is who they are. And so, no, none of them have figured it out. Why would this guy figure it out? No. I just, no. I'm sorry, but I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel with that man whatsoever. I cannot. Let's see. Got my Tangem cards, but do recommend buy from Tangem app or from Uphold. From Tangem, you buy it directly. Oh, you talk about the crypto. It all depends, my brother. You can't buy everything on Tangem. Some of it you have to buy and swap. Like Polis, you buy it directly from Tangem, from Uphold, and then send it over. Or Caspa, you send it over. But you can't buy Caspa or Polis, let's say, directly on Tangem. You have to buy Solana or Ethereum and then swap it. And so there's a fee for swapping it. So is the fee for swapping it higher than the fee for you buying it and then sending it over? Sending Polis over is like a nothing. So sending Solana over is not. Some of these fees are nothing. So you have to measure that and make sure what the cost is of each. So you can run a test on each, and that way you know exactly what you're paying. But I would tell you to figure that out first. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? Big O, we need everything. GM, coach, CB, wide receiver, safety, O-line, DT, LOL. We are driving up a hill overweight with 2 flat tires, and it's raining. Damn, we're screwed. Corso says, I'm a blind-ass fan sometimes. Corso, we're all blind-ass fans sometimes. We all get overzealous. We all get excited about our teams and players, and we sometimes, a lot of times, we'll be realistic, and then sometimes we deserve the blind-ass fan alert, and we think, okay, shit can happen. And it doesn't. Happens to all of us. Happens to all of us. I've given myself blind-ass fan alerts on this show many times over. So it's all good, baby. It's all good. My feeling on the Finns this season is the same as the whole lot of rosy shirt. Ugly and a letdown. Yeah, it was a letdown. And listen to his pressers. Of course, his plays are late. It's a great line. Nobody's fool says, Big O, got a trivia question for you. Before Marino's time, name the 2 QBs that started each game for Miami. I believe it was during the players' strike. Been a Dolphin before you was born, Big O. During the players' strike, the two quarterbacks that started during the players' strike. Jesus Christ. I have a hard time remembering the guys from the players' strike outside of Lifford Hobley. The quarterback, man, I know I can remember maybe one of them, like if I hear the name or something, but God, there's no way I'm going to remember the 2 quarterbacks from the players' strike. I remember it. I remember watching the players play and all that kind of stuff. I remember going through all that controversy and everything. God, it's tough, dude. I don't even want to look at the chat board because some of you will probably put it in there. Look it up or you'll know it or something. Trying to remember. I cannot remember the damn guy's name. No, you're gonna have to send it in. I don't remember. I don't remember. But now that I see Kyle Campos, why do I think there was a Kyle in that name?
You were right.
Actually,
there's a Kyle.
What is it?
Kyle Mackey.
Mackey.
Yes.
Got it.
And the other one is I mean, it's
dude, thank you, Anthony Kyle Campos, because of you, I remembered that there was a Kyle. And then even before he said it, now I remembered it was Mackey. Now forget about it, bro. I cannot remember the second one. Yes.
Well, the name on here is Joe Strock, also played at quarterback for Dolphins during the strike.
Joe Strock.
Yeah, but I'm looking at Nobody's Fool. I think that's the one that asked the question. He said Woodley and Stout both played in each game. I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. No. I think he's talking about not during the scrubs, in the strike year, the other quarterbacks that played. Oh, now I got it, dude.
Yeah, well, they filled in. Those two filled in for Marino when he was injured.
Right. No, I get it now. I get his question now. Okay, so I misunderstood the question. I thought the two quarterbacks strike year in the the scrubs quarterbacks.
Yeah, because Kyle Mackey was the quarterback during the scrubs, but Joe Strock played quarterback because he filled in for Marino when he was injured. So I guess when he came back.
Did anybody play outside of Kyle Mackey? By the way, because he wasn't bad. We actually did decent. Our scrubs did decent. We have Shula. I mean, it's like having Spo. So that's what I love about Spo. It's just like it's like Shula's spirit extended into basketball. He's the only guy that resembles Shula. The only guy in South Florida history that comes close to the level of Shula. That's it. Nobody else. Because I've never seen another coach in the history of South Florida sports win with so many different iterations of teams. Yes, sir.
Kyle Mackey's dad was D. Mackey, who also played for Don Shula with the Baltimore Colts and served as a replacement quarterback. I'm looking at the 87 replacement roster. They had a Jeff Toretta.
Whoa, really? I didn't know that Mackey nugget. That's pretty fun. That's a fun Mackey nugget.
Yeah, so he had a stint there with him, and he also played for the Jets, Cardinals, Eagles, and then he did some Arena Football League.
Okay, all right,
and the Saints also.
All right, Anthony Kyle Campos, by the way, thank you for the super chat. He says, anyone want Finn's tickets for Ruth Chris dinner?
I think he's trying to get rid of his Finn tickets for a Ruth Chris dinner, but I think whoever goes to the Ruth Chris dinner is going to lose out.
Yeah, the person that goes to Ruth Chris wins. The person that gets the Finn's tickets, it's yeah, Anthony, I would probably rather go to, because I could just watch the game at Ruth Chris.
Well, no, I think he's trying to get rid of his Finn tickets for a Ruth Chris dinner.
Yeah, no, he's just a smart man. If he can finagle somebody out of that, I'm all with it. I'm with Anthony on that one. All right. Let's see, what else do we have here? Nick Needham to the Browns. Did he sign or something? What happened there? What happened with Nick Needham? What are we talking about here? What's going on with Nick Needham? Did something come across the wires? Listening to Big O high is a trip. Okay. All right. I got to try that one day.
Yeah, it looks like 34 minutes ago, Brown signed cornerback Nick Needham.
Okay, good for Nick, man. After that Achilles injury, the poor kid, man, it was just rough for him. Let's get to our 3A graphics sports calendar. The amazing Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery, please call Alan anywhere in the country. You can do all of that by Zoom and email and all that. So give Alan a ring. He can help you out. 786-618-1443. Please support the great sponsors that support our program and keep our platform alive. Tuesday, the Panthers are back in action, taking on the Lightning to start off the playoffs. 8:30 face-off. Last night, the Cavs defeated the Heat 121-100 to take a 1-0 lead in this best-of-7 series. Game 2 will be on Wednesday, and that'll be at 7:40. Inter Miami defeats Columbus on Saturday, 1-0. Kremoski with the goal in the 30th minute. Beautiful goal, by the way, for Inter Miami. Thursday, CONCACAF Cup action. They will take on Vancouver on the road. Short week for them, tough week for them. Sunday at 5 o'clock, they're back at Chase Stadium to take on Dallas. Hell of a week for Inter Miami. Fort Lauderdale United went on the road. They tied Dallas Trinity 1-1. Locklear with the goal for Fort Lauderdale United in the 35th minute. This Saturday, they take on the Carolina Ascent at Beyond Bankcard Field in Davie at 7:30. Miami FC, by the way, also defeated in USL action. They defeated North Carolina FC 2-0. Bonfiglio, who else? With the goal in the 18th minute, Knudsen in the 26th minute. That is your 3A Graphics Sports calendar. By the way, Nessa Diab, she is the partner of Colin Kaepernick, and TMZ caught up with her, and they asked her, is Kaepernick still working out? And she says, yes, he's still working out and trying to wait for an opportunity. I mean, Kaepernick is how old now? How old is Colin Kaepernick, dude? What is he, 30 what now? They didn't want you in your 20s. Why would they want you now in your 30s? You know what I mean? I got
37 years old.
He's 37. Nobody, he'll be like 50 and in a walker, or 55. And yeah, no, he's still training for that opportunity. One of the biggest frauds I have ever seen in my entire life is Colin Kaepernick. What a fraud, bro. In every way. In every way, the dude is a fraud. Truly amazing. With the level of fraud that guy is. Truly amazing. Wow. Crazy shit. In 1981, David Woodley and oh, you mean Don Strock started each game for Miami. Yes. I would have known that. I thought you were testing me with like the scrub year, and I didn't even know there were two, and there wasn't. It looks like it was only Mackey. It was only one. But yeah, that would have been a challenge, a real challenge. And it was. And and thanks to Anthony Kyle Campos, he triggered it, bro. You know how they say everything happens for a reason? You triggered it, bro. You sent in a super chat, which then triggered my memory. And I go, Kyle, wait a minute. The guy had a Kyle. And boom. What are the chances that Campos is sending in something about he doesn't even know. He's not even talking about our subject. And little did he know that his name was going to be part of the answer for a trivia question that I invented, because it's not the one that nobody's fool asked me for. So, gotta say. Sorry, 1981 is far, far away from me. Yeah, but I got to tell you something. The 80s looked like it was yesterday for me. I still remember so many things of the 80s like it was yesterday, dude. By the way, we're at 88,238. We are about to start busting some shorts here in the 88, 89 range. And once you start busting those shorts, it's going to catapult into the 90s. And then there are more shorts there. And so all of a sudden, it could start really giving Bitcoin one hell of a boost. So we'll see. This part here is very interesting in the 88 to 89 range. I'm not sure where it'll trigger it, but this is a stage where it's going to get triggered because there's a lot of shorts in this area. We'll see. We shall see. Where's the market right now? Because, man, Bitcoin is ripped. Wow, the market is down 1,000 points. Bitcoin is completely decoupled from the market. Well, people are finally getting smart and they're understanding dollars dying, every currency's dying. People are, by the way, what's going on right now is there are countries that hold the U.S. debt and they're selling it. Because of the tariffs, he's pissed off a lot of people. So they're pissed off and they're dumping our debt. And that means we have to acquire it. And then what happens is the bond rates are going up, the dollar's going down. So when the dollar goes down, risk assets go up. But the problem with weakening the dollar and then the bond rates going up, they wanted to bring the bond rates down to 3 to 3.5 so they can refinance $9.2 trillion of our debt. Well, the bond rates right now are at 4.4%. They wanted to bring it to 3 to 3.5. So if you got to refinance at that price, you're going to be paying a lot more interest. It's not good, folks. It's not good. Not good. So I don't know what happens here. That's why Trump is going after Powell, because he wants Powell to bail him out now to lower the rates and juice the economy. Because what he did is negative to the economy. But we shall see what we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. What can I tell you? Thunder beat the Grizzlies 131-80. John Morant. I guess that gun wasn't loaded for that game. Celtics over the Magic. Warriors. Butler had 25.7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals in a 95-85 win over the Rockets. So they got a 1-0 lead. Tonight, by the way, it's Detroit and the Knicks. Knicks are leading 1-0. Knicks are favored by 6.5. 221.5 is the over and under. 7:30 for game 2 there. Game 2, 10 o'clock, Clippers and Nuggets. Clippers are favored by 1. The over and under is 216.5. And Denver leads 1-0 in that series. There you go. All right. What else do we have going on? Let's get to a little music. Let's do that, right? Let's get to some music news, since we always like doing that, and find out who was born, what musician was born on this date, the 21st of April. All right, John Mayer, drummer with the English punk rock group Buzzcocks. Maher, not the other mayor you're thinking about. Who else is celebrating a birthday? Michael Timmons, guitarist with the Cowboy Junkies, born in 1959. The great Robert Smith with The Cure, born in 1959. Mike Barson, keyboardist for the band One Step Beyond. Da-na-na. Madness, born in 58. Paul Davis, born in 1948. Let me tell you something about Paul Davis, okay? He's got a bunch of hits. But when you hear the song, I Go Crazy, when I look in your eyes, I still go crazy. When you hear that song, and then you go look at the picture of Paul Davis, you're like, that guy sings that tune? Because, you judge books by cover. And if you looked at him, you're like, oh, yeah, no, that guy would be part of, I don't even want to say it, because I don't want to ruin it for you, because you're going to do it anyway. You're going to think of something completely different when you look up Paul Davis. So I'm just preparing you, just in case you go look for it there. '69 Love Affair. He has a couple hits, dude. He had a nice career for himself. Iggy Pop. I wish you would put a shirt on. God, for the last 40 years, you've needed a shirt, bro. Born in 1947 on this date, the legend, James Osterberger. Member of the Stooges, of course. And that was it for musicians born on this date. Let's go with other famous people born on this date. All right. Anthony Quinn, great actor, born in 1915. Queen Elizabeth II, born in 1926. Charles Grodin, born in 1935. Midnight Run he did a great job in Midnight Run. Let's see who else. Patti LuPone, musician, born in 1949. She's 76. Tony Danza, born in 1951. He's 74. Andy McDowell, born in 1958. She is 67. Back in the day when she was on St. Elmo's Fire. What a looker, dude. Let's see who else. Celebrating birthdays. Rob Riggle, born in 70. He's 55. James McAvoy, actor, born in 79. He's 46. Tony Romo, born in 80. He's 45. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Yes, sir, we do. Angelo Savoldi was born on this date in 1914. We lost him in 2013. Axel Rotten, the partner of the great Balls Mahoney, was born on this date in 1971. Sadly, we lost him in 2016.
Not Iron Balls McGinty, but no. Balls Mahoney.
Yes. Okay. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, he turned 68 today. Dutch turns 38. The great Jay Lethal, he turns 40. And Nikki Cross of the Wyatt Six, wherever she is, she's celebrating a birthday today. She turns 36. Those are your birthdays for April 21st, 2025.
Okay. All right. Do you believe in magic? All right. Let's go to musicians. I'm sorry, music history, that is. What happened today on April 21st in music history? We start off in 73. Alice Cooper went to number 1 on the album charts with $1 Billion Babies. In 2016, Prince was found dead at his home in Minnesota. Damn, it's been that long. It's been 9 years, bro, that Prince passed away. In 98, Led Zeppelin members Jimmy Page and Robert Plant released their Walking into Clarksdale reunion album. In 82, Joe Strummer of The Clash disappeared for 3 weeks, causing the group to cancel a tour. He was eventually found living on the streets of Paris. In 84, Phil Collins started a 3-week run at the top of the Let's try it again. Phil Collins started a 3-week run at the top of the singles charts. I'm going to get shingles. Against all odds. It was his first number 1 song. And movie. Great movie, too. Not his movie, I'm just saying. Great movie. Song went with the movie. All that soundtrack stuff. He just took off, man, on his own. Jesus. His career solo is so monstrous. In 2004, California rockers Hobostank had number 2 song in the country with The Reason, which was number 1 on the modern rock chart. I don't even know that song. Or maybe I do and I just can't play it in my mind. Let's see. I miss the days of Jake Scott and Dick Anderson, Dolphins' greatest set of safeties of all time. And don't be concerned, because the Dolphins have their starting safeties right now on the roster. And last time I checked, Jake Scott and the boys are going to wish they never played, because these guys are going to put them to shame. In fact, there's going to be a new ring of honor that's going to be made for these guys. Okay. It's things are going to get out of control here this season. Oh my God. Perfect record. Not going to lose a game. Going to run the table. Going to go right through, dance right through the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl, pull a John Morant, beat them by 50. Yeah. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen, bro. No doubt in my mind that that's what's going to happen. It's the idea. I'm telling you. You'll love it. Get yourself prepared for a day of reckoning, as they say. Anthony Kyle Campos, Big O, since it was water yesterday and Good Friday. It was water yesterday and Good Friday. Did he mean something else? Anyway, since you're the Miami sports priest, who are the Judases in each franchise of Miami? LOL. Jeffrey Loria for the Miami Marlins is definitely Judas. Is there any doubt there? Inter Miami. Who's the Judas of Inter Miami? Gonzalo Higuain with the cigarettes and the fatness? Who do we make the Judas of Inter Miami? What do you think, Sean?
Who was the first head coach?
Oh, the GQ guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Forgot the GQ, whatever the GQ guy's name is.
Yeah. I mean, he was set up for failure since they had the team before they even hired him. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how you.
We can't make him the Judas, bro. That's not fair to him. That's just not fair. You know what? You know who I'm going to make the Judas? Robbie Robinson. First draft pick. He was an absolute disaster.
I saw the gleam in your eyes when you started thinking about it.
That's it. Because we could have had the kid Orlando God and all that, who was a tank. Oh, we passed that guy up twice. Anyway, Robbie Robinson is definitely the Judas of Inter Miami for now. He's got to hold that there. So, okay, so we got Robbie for Inter. We got definitely Loria for the Marlins. The Miami Heat. Oh, this is easy. Louis Chaffel and Billy Cunningham. Okay, that's pure evil right there. I don't care that both are dead. Sorry, they came here with those intentions. So we've got our Heat. We've got our Marlins and Inter. Panthers. Panthers. Could have been Bob. It could have easily been Bob if he didn't turn it around. Judas of the Panthers.
It's got to be your boy, the GM that we replayed.
But he got Barkov. Like he failed. Like he failed in the overall rebuild. But dude, he left us Barkov and Bob, right? Because he signed Bob, and so that helped at least. It didn't at the beginning, but by the time Zito took over and all that, Bob was good. So and Huberto got us Kachuk. I can't. I get it. I can't. No, there. I'd rather go with the Viner boys, who didn't have money. It was 5 dudes, and they just didn't have the money, and they could never get it done. Wait a minute. there was another owner. Give me the owners of the Panthers, please. Because the Viner guys, I don't even want to put them there because they meant well, dude. They just didn't have the money. But I think we may have another owner in there too that I'm missing. And I think that's the shitty owner, the shittiest of the owners. Huizinga, Viner.
So you had Huizinga, then the group led by Alan Cohen, and then Viola.
Oh, it was Alan Cohen's group, and then Viola.
It says ownership led by Alan Cohen. I don't know who all was.
Right. Well, that's it. That's the Cohen group is a Viner group. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I mean, that would be, yeah, that's it. Yeah, the Cohen group. Even though they meant well, they didn't have money. So I'm gonna go with the Cohen group. I mean, I could go with what's the name of the defenseman that we used to kill all the time? That he was terrible. He still lives here in South Florida. He's a coach and everything.
It's not Worrell, is it?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, that was the guy they used to get every time he was our fighter.
Yes, that's all. Todd Worrell, right? Or was it
Worrell? I can't. Hold on a minute. I don't know
Scott
if it was
Worrell or what was it?
Trying to see if somebody else gets it. Isn't it Peter Worrell?
Peter Worrell. That's it. It's Peter. It's Peter. Definitely Peter. Peter Worrell would be the other guy. Okay, so either the Cohen group or Peter Worrell, because he was so useless. It was just for fighting.
He's a fighter.
He was just a goon, as we affectionately call the Thai dummies of the world. His son now plays, but his son is not a dummy like his dad is.
Well, back then you had to have one of those on your team, right?
Yes.
In hockey, you had to have the Peter Worrell guy because he was the guy sticking up for every.
Yeah, we have, but see, Paul Laws could play hockey and fight.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of like this. It's like, wow, this guy's useless for everything except for fighting. So it would either be the Cohen group or Peter Worrell. For the Dolphins. Wow. I'm going to go Jimmy Johnson. Let me think a little bit more. Because Jimmy gave us Dave Wanstead. I know he brought the defense, but he tortured Marino. He did everything to make Marino fail, which I'll never forgive him for that. And he, bragged about being special and did everything to sabotage Shula. And then he left us with freaking Wanstead, who ruined the defense that he built, because the defense got old on Wanstead. So I'm going to go Jimmy Johnson is my Judah for the Miami Dolphins. How do you like them apples? All right. Well, you guys got you guys got it there. Inner, Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers. Who's your Judas? You guys got a list? Put the team and Judas, whoever the Judas is. Make your list. Put it there on the chat board. All right. Who's your 5 Judases?
Dave has a good one.
Nick Saban. It's good.
I don't know if he was around long enough to where he really made a significant input in either way.
Yeah. He went 9-7 with Gus Frerotte. I hate Saban. Think he's an idiot. You know what I mean? Hell, one of the greatest maybe college football coach, but nah, Jimmy did way more damage, dude. What he did to Marino and then leave us with Wanstead. Yeah, it's not even close, bro. It's not even close. Saban brought us the bubble. Oh, man. Greatest NHL enforcer who could play was Bob Probert. One tough hombre. Yes, sir. Couldn't agree more, Big O. JJ is number one Judas. That's my Judas for the Dolphins. Definitely, dude. What he did to Marino, I'll never forgive. And then he left us once that. John Avery draft pick. You know, he did some doozies. Remember, he told us that Larry Shannon would be as good as Randy Moss. Okay. By the way, I am looking forward to The Accountant 2. Comes out this weekend. I'll probably see it next Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, next Tuesday, because that's when movies are cheap. You know, working stiffs, you gotta cut. So I'm looking forward to it. I saw the first one already and I enjoyed it. And I actually rewatched it yesterday with the wife because she had never seen it, and she enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to The Accountant 2. But of course, I'm going to go on Tuesday, which was like $5-6 movies or something like that. Which, in today's world, that's like really cheap for movies, which is a beautiful thing. JJ drafted Yatil Green as well too. Yep. Yeah. JJ is definitely my Judas. There's nobody I could ever put in front of JJ right now for the Dolphins. Nobody. Not even close, dude. Not even close. The way he tortured Marino at the end and then leaving us with that guy. So, Big O, Sinners was a top-tier movie. Highly recommended. What is Sinners? What is it about? I wrote it down, but okay. If it's about sinning, well, go for it. The Accountant 2, negative cash flow. You are a trip, sir. All right, ladies and gents, we are out of here. We appreciate all of you out there. As always, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button. Tomorrow, we will talk to David Furones. We'll get a little Dolphins talk, get a preview before the draft. If you missed any of our draft talk, we had a few guests last week. They're all there for you. Let's see who was joining us last week. Benjamin Albright joined us last week. Tony Pauline joined us last week. Charles Davis, also Eric Galco from East West Shrine and Optimum Scouting. All of those interviews are on the platform. You can check it out. And we appreciate it. Watch it. Hit the like button as always. Don't forget to hit the subscribe bell and the notification bell. That way you know when we're on. Let me see what we got here. Horn Dog says, oh, my 5 is Jimmy Johnson for the Dolphins. Jimmy Johnson for the Hurricanes. Wow. LBJ, we'll never forgive him for the Heat. And Jeff Ireland for the Dolphins. And the Miami Marlins. I didn't see it. What'd you put for the Miami Marlins? By the way,
he recognizes them in the top 5. He added the Canes and stuff.
Oh, I see. I got it. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Alexis Palenzuela says, by the way, you were right on Den of Thieves 2. Saw it on Netflix. Slow and boring. Yeah, dude. God, it was terrible, bro. It wasn't worth it, man. Den of Thieves 2 was, and I enjoyed the first one, but the second one, I wouldn't, I get it if you want to complete it. Wait till you can watch it for free. Don't ever pay for it. It is not worth it, bro. Not worth it. Sometimes people make sequels just to make sequels, and it's a money grab. Like right now, they're talking about a what's the sequel that I was watching some stuff from that Comic-Con week, and Emilio Estevez was talking about it, and Young Guns 3. Like, you know, you're just not going to capture them. They're going to do it, but come on, man. You know, it's like the Axel Foley for Beverly Hills Cop. You were already losing it on 3. 3 was mediocre out of them. 1 and 2 were really good, and 3 was so mediocre. Whatever, but you dealt with it. You did the okie dokie, and you dealt with it. But 4 was terrible. And sometimes they're just doing a sequel because they all want to make some money. They don't really give a shit about the product itself. If they did, you think Robert De Niro would still be doing movies? That guy just comes up with one shit movie after another lately because all he's doing is cashing in a check. He doesn't give a shit. This happens a lot, dude. Happens a lot in Hollywood now. That whole thing about, I'm selective of my scripts and what I do and what on my resume and all that. They don't give a shit, dude. They just want another check and put it on the IMDb. And people can deal with stinkers. They don't care. And Robert De Niro, while he's got a ton of historic movies, he's got a ton of shitty movies lately and he's doing straight for a check. And that's what I see with some of these people that do sequels. They're just doing it to do it, but not because it's a good script or they know it's going to be a hit. No, it's just another check. That's all. So sequels usually just dilute the original movie. Yeah. It's the Maverick thing is so few and far between. Like Maverick, they nailed it. You could argue it's better than Top Gun. Okay? And I don't have anybody that tells me I enjoyed Maverick more than Top Gun. I can see it. I'm good with it. They did a really, really good job with that one. Although I got to say, whether you like them or you don't, I don't care. Compartmentalize this. Tom Cruise rarely makes any bad movies nowadays. Or ever. Really. Most of his movies are good. Talk about a guy that his IMDb is, man, there are very few, if any, stinkers on his resume. Cruise knocks it out of the freaking park, dude, constantly. Jesus, man. Props to him, man. Props to him. Didn't see Beverly Hills Cop, but I actually thought Bad Boys 4 was the best of the entire series. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I didn't watch it, so I have no idea. I thought 3 wasn't, was I? All right. Big O, James Gardner will always be Maverick to me. He could be Maverick or he could be Rockford Files too. He could be the detective too at the same time. Either way. Because the smart-ass detective, that's what he was too. Pat in Nashville says, the Mummy and Jack Reacher want to have a word. You don't enjoy Jack Reacher? I love the Jack Reachers. I enjoy the shit out of the Jack Reachers. It's not like, oh my God, this incredible plot or something like that. But for an action movie, if you're going for what it is, I don't have a problem with it at all. I enjoy the shit out of Reacher and what's the other one? John Wick. I love them. I'm interested to see what they do with this spinoff of the Continental now with the girl and all that. See what happens with that. That'll be interesting. All right, we are out of here finally. Appreciate all of you out there. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.